All right, everybody. Welcome to I said it again wrong. Welcome to Wrestling with Reality. I'm John, and joining me, of course, as always, is my partner, Mr. Richie Reardon. Hope everybody's doing great tonight. Hope everybody's having a great week. Hopefully, you're enjoying your spring. We are excited to be here tonight. Richie, what's new in your world, buddy?
What's new? I had the baby. Jax is here. He's with his mom currently at the store, man. So I apologize. Probably won't make an appearance until the next. I would say probably the live stream will be doing that. But yeah, healthy baby, 6.6 pounds, 19.6 inches long, healthy as can be, and I couldn't be more happy, dude. I'm humble, happy, and it's been the best gift I've ever received in my life. So.
I'm so glad for you, bro. I know you've been excited for that. Your family's been excited for you. Well deserved to have a wonderful child for you guys. And man, changes your life in a good way, buddy.
Does change your life in a good way. I'm telling you, dude. And he's, you can see how quickly kids grow up, and he's not more than almost a week old and freaking already doing things, trying to hold his head up. Just a tough kid already. So love him to death, man.
Man, that's congratulations, dude. I'm so happy for you. That's why we weren't here last week. Richie was going to do a show, and I told him to go fuck himself on that one. Yeah, I said, no. Yeah. I said, you're not doing a show 2 days after the baby's born, man. So that's all on me right there. I'll say for last week, because I wanted him to take some time with his family, and he was gung-ho to do it. But we'll see pretty soon if Richie's a big goddamn baby.
Big goddamn baby.
Look at that big goddamn baby.
I appreciate all the love, guys. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, man, and being a parent's the best thing in the world. So just if you guys are out there, you haven't had kids yet, have them, because it makes it all worth it, dude.
Sure
when I held that kid in my arms for the first time, it gives you a sense of purpose. So.
Absolutely. Rabbi's here. Shalom from Parts
Shalom.
Unknown. What's going on, Mr. Rabbi? Raymond is here. What's going on, Raymond? Jeremy's here. He's on vacation, not missing the episode. We appreciate that. What is going on again, Raymond? What is going on, Mazel Tov to you too? Congrats. He's got for you. He's not a big show, baby.
A big goddamn baby.
It's a big goddamn baby. Tony said, enjoy every moment. Time goes by fast. What's up, my old friend and my wonderful, what a wonderful guy, Tony Karinsky, one of my buddies from the military. Great to see you, Tony. Great dad there too. He knows what it's like to be a parent. Man, it's a changing experience for you. You know,
absolutely.
I couldn't be more excited for you guys. It
I appreciate it. Yeah, it does go by fast, and everybody keeps saying that. They're like, you need to take it all in and enjoy it while you can, because it does go by quickly.
God, I remember the day when mine was just coming out, and 16, almost 17 years ago for my youngest one. My oldest is 25 this year. You know?
Really?
Yeah, my son will be 25 this year. And then my daughter's turning 17 and just got her license on Friday. It goes by fast. Well, you're going to see it, bro. Like 1 minute, he's going to be taking that first bottle with you guys. Then it's going to be first steps, picking himself up, walking, crawling, whatever it is. Then it's going to be sports, t-ball, school, whatever it might be. And then before you know it, they're driving. And the next thing you know it, they're graduating, and boom. So being a dad is a wonderful, it's the greatest honor it can be, man. Like Rabbi said, drink it in, man.
Drink it in, man.
Rabbi's got 5 kids, I think he said before. So, he knows what it's all about. Raymond asked, did you cry when you held the baby for the first time?
I did, man. I did. It was a long road for, me and Ashley. We had lost a couple and stuff. So it was a long road. We had been trying and stuff like that. And it's a big toll on your mental health when you're trying to create a baby and you're having struggles and you're thinking you're going to have to spend all this money on IVF. And it was a struggle, man. So for that moment to finally happen, totally fulfilling, totally a beautiful moment. I think we're done though. I think I'm good. I'm ready to get snipped and yeah, I think I'm good, man.
that's I guess you could say that Richie is wrestling with reality. And I think so.
Definitely wrestling with sleep. That's for sure.
There you go.
Baby housing.
He's playing O-line for the Cards, baby housing. Yeah, man. It's fun. Enjoy it while you can, brother. You know?
For sure.
And if you're one and done, there's nothing wrong with that either, bro.
No. Nope. We have Braylon. We have my son Jax now, so I'm good to go. That's
don't be a dumb. don't be a dumb fuck like me when you're just about free and clear, when you're in your mid 40s, and then you decide that you want to start trying for another child when you're mid 40s. So
God bless you, dude. God bless you, because I'll tell you what, it's taxing on your body to be older and to have to wake up and stuff. We're not,
no,
we're not
no.
like we once was, to quote a famous song. So
No, that's true. It's going to be really different because I had my kids in my early 20s, of course, and my
yeah,
oldest is 25. So, I was just in my young 20s at that point. And I don't know, man. I mean, my partner's 10 years younger than me. So when we're getting married this year, she never had any kids. She wants kids. I love kids, but I'm also like always like one of those things. I'm like, man, I never thought at like 44 years old, going on 45, that I would be thinking about having children again. But, it's a scary reality when you get a little bit older, but it's a scary reality when you're younger too, no matter when you do it. But, you're a religious guy like I am, and they're God's greatest blessing. So, God brought them into your world for a reason, or God brings somebody into your world for a reason, a partner, somebody that, maybe wanted one or wanted more or had, whatever it goes. And if people decide that they're doing it, you're doing what God wants you to do and
yeah,
recreate. And when you know it's time, you call it. But soak it in, man. Drink it in, man, because
yeah,
literally,
man,
it goes by so fast. And then one day you wake up and you're like, wow, where did it go? You know, I'm sure a
yeah,
lot of the guys out there that listen to this, or girls, or we're about a 98% probably a guy show here, but the guys can really attest to that, who have kids and stuff, and they tell you the same thing, man. Like, we don't soak it in and enjoy it as much as we can in the beginning. And you'll go back and you'll look back at it so fondly. And it's the greatest blessing in the world that you have the children that you do, and you have your life and the partner that you do. And we need to take advantage of that stuff. So I'm
yeah.
real happy and proud of you guys for doing it. And I know you guys are already good parents and great parents, and you're going to be good and great parents with this one too. So
Yeah, my wife's a fucking saint, man. She's taking care of this whole thing, and seeing the strength in her and how she handles herself. She's one of the greatest moms I've ever seen in my life, and
there you
love
go.
puts them first above all, and couldn't be more proud of her about it too. So everything's
Yeah.
going good on my end, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, bro. I've been really busy. I used the time last week to finish my renovation because, I got things to get ready for this summer with the wedding and everything like that. And I've been wanting to finish the house up because, Pauline's getting ready to move in hopefully a few weeks, but if everything goes correctly, like it should, it should be a few weeks. So I've been doing like renovation city in the house this year. And I just got the bug up my ass to finish my kitchen, and I gutted the entire kitchen and put it all the way I wanted it to over the course of the last like week and a half and some or so. And man, I couldn't be happier with it. And it's kind of nice to know just about everything's done, So I used that time effectively last week, and it's been good, man. Work's been great, life's been great. I really, can't complain. So
That's good, man. Yeah, you showed me pictures. You did a great job on it, and I was real proud of you. The remodeling and stuff that you did, it looks
thanks.
badass. So
Thanks, dude. I really appreciate it. I always laugh about this. My ex-wife didn't think I was handy, because she was a pain in the ass to work with. God rest her, she's a good person. God bless her. She's a good person. We just weren't compatible, long term. We tried for almost 20 years and it didn't work. But
yeah,
she was the biggest pain in the ass to work with. And she's really handy. I'll say that. She's very handy too. And we never did things the same way with like renovations. So she thought forever I couldn't do shit, you know. And it was usually just to avoid an argument when you're working with somebody that doing a project like that. So I would just follow the lead or whatever it was. And then now it's like I think people probably she would probably see if she saw it, it's like, wow, I didn't know you could do all that. Well, you never fucking asked me for 20 years if I could do
right.
it. You never wanted to listen,
Yeah,
I love to fix things up and do them right as long as I can do it. So it's kind of like one of those fun things. I'm not like the best at it all the time, but I'll say I'm pretty serviceable,
yeah.
at it. I've done 2 houses now basically. So it you know how it is though with fixing shit in houses. It's the biggest pain
Oh
in the
yeah,
ass, right?
absolutely,
Will she be a Yankees fan, Richie?
man. You don't want to say that, Rabbi, because he'll say "fuck you" for having a New York Yankee,
Yeah.
yarmulke on the back
Just
of
look
your
right
head.
behind me. I didn't put the green screen up tonight, and you can see I'm a fucking diehard Mets fan, and we don't like the Yankees in this house. That's for sure, Rabbi. So
Yeah,
when my daughter was born, I cried like a bitch. I tapped out like John Cena did to Kurt Angle. But you know what, bro? That's the good thing, Raymond, is that they can break us down like
We'll
that
get
when they
no
do it.
judgment here from that.
No, I bawled like a bitch too.
Yeah.
I have pictures of it too. I got tears streaming down my eyes as they grab you. It happens, man. That's the way it is. You brought a human life into the world.
It's
John
huge.
Housen wants to have kids when he's in the nursing home. By the time they would graduate, I would be just about in that point of my
Yep.
life. I'll actually be long retired before if I have more kids before they graduated. So
Yeah, my wife wants more desperately, and I told her, I said, to do that to our kids, I think it's a perfect mix to have one and one. I eventually have a game plan where I want two separate houses owned and paid for.
there
So
you go.
each one of them get it when I'm long gone, so they always have somewhere to go. I just think financially it's responsible to give them both equal attention and equal opportunity. And I also have things I still want to do in life, and so I'll still be kind of young when I get there, and we'll still be able to live life a little bit. So
That's the hard thing, and I bet you everybody here, Derek, said congratulations as well.
thanks, man. I appreciate it, Derek.
Those are tears. It's pride running down your cheeks. Yeah, absolutely. That's the one thing. Like, I think, it's nice to, you're in a good financial position like I am and stuff. And that's a nice thing because when you're younger and you have kids, it's way more complicated financially,
Right.
typically, unless
sure.
you're from money,
Yeah.
But even when you have money and you make good money and you're doing well, you're gonna see it, bro. Kids are the biggest fucking, it with Braylon, but you're gonna see that with baby even more. And as you got two, they're the biggest expense in the world, dude.
They are.
I would be
never
rich, probably multi-millionaire by now with the money I would have saved if I never had kids. But I wouldn't take it back. I wouldn't trade that money for what you get from having children.
Right.
It's a he. And do you want to say the name, Rich?
Yeah, my son's name is Jax, and my daughter's name is Braylon. So.
Gotcha. Yep. All right. I never throw anything out unless somebody.
No, I appreciate it.
I know. Absolutely. I love that name. Braylon's a beautiful name.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it is.
That's a beautiful name, man. So that's a beautiful name. Well, wrestling wise, wow, it's been an exciting couple of shows in wrestling recently, and the main event tonight that we're gonna do at the end of the show, like we always do, is going to be a fun topic tonight. It kind of came into my mind this week when I was talking actually with Jeremy, and I haven't been watching much wrestling recently, like live stuff. So I don't know. I got a bug up my ass. I've been catching clips only to click on Raw this week, and I wanted to see the Opa Femi and Brock stuff. I wanted to see the CM Punk stuff. Those have been the winners to me, and I'm glad I tuned in because I think we're going a direction that we're going to talk about later, and I think we're setting up for this, and this is going to be our main topic, TKO versus WWE. This is going to be their next huge storyline that they're doing. Destiny, that's a beautiful name too, Raymond. I like that, man.
That is a beautiful name.
I'm flat broke, and my nephews hit me up for money because their dad is non-existent. But that means you're a good uncle and a good man.
Yeah, that's
it means you're a good uncle and a good man. So respect for that, brother. Will Vince and the Saudis buy it? We can talk about that later too, Rabbi. We can include that part in because Vince is going to be in my discussion later on about it, even though it's a long shot. It's interesting to see what they're doing with this TKO WWE stuff, and I want to hear everybody's thoughts, at the end of the show. But WrestleMania is just right around the corner, dude, and it's going to be here next weekend, right?
Yep.
I'd like to try to live stream one of the nights next week, maybe day one. Weekend. So it just all depends because usually a couple of my buddies come over and stuff. And
do we want to do day one or do we want to do day two?
Well, day two, the reason I can't do it is because some of my friends are actually going to come over and watch the show with me.
Okay,
so I don't want to be streaming when my buddies are over and stuff.
Yeah.
So we always make it a thing. And I've stood them up the last 2 years because I've been overseas on vacation the last 2 years for WrestleMania. So I promised them this year that I'm not going to miss one night of it, night two at least. And one of my buddies is just like a huge Randy Orton fan. So I was like, he's dying to see that match on night one. And then another one of my buddies is just like a diehard fucking Roman Reigns guy. So night two is going to be a fun one, but definitely we're going to try for night one, and
for sure.
I don't know. It's looking like a good card, but we'll get into that in a little bit. What's your first topic you want to talk about tonight? You're the new dad. You the man of the week. What's your first topic you want to talk about?
Well, it's kind of crazy to me, and I don't know if anyone in the crowd, understands this, but the ticket sales in these events have been kind of underwhelming. WrestleMania still has about 25,000 tickets left. The UFC is having a hard time selling for their next pay-per-view. And the Jake Paul MMA card that they're having is not selling either. CM Punk, it was kind of crazy in his promo. I know we're going to touch on it a little bit, but he kind of went rogue on WWE and basically said, lower the ticket prices and stuff like that. It's kind of coming to a point where I think people are going to start boycotting these huge events because they're not going to pay the money that they're asking for these tickets anymore. I don't know how you feel about it. Me personally, I'll never go to a WWE event again until they start lowering the ticket prices because I think it's ridiculous and that they're taking advantage of people, especially with the content that they're giving out. This isn't prime time, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock days. This isn't, Hulk Hogan versus Sting. Let's be honest, the stuff that we get today isn't even close to that. Mm-hmm. So, I just think it's a little ridiculous, the prices that they're commanding. And, I think that Saudi Arabia is going to be a very empty situation as well. I think they'll have to give tickets away out there. So
I think that's what they usually do anyways.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous. I don't know about you, but I won't pay. And it's kind of cheap too. Like WWE, you notice with a lot of their ticket sales and stuff, they have these package deals, where you pay 10 grand and you get to fucking do a cook-off with fucking Cody Rhodes.
No, you ride the bus with Cody Rhodes for 30 minutes or some shit and go see 2 shitty stops and each person pays 10 grand.
$10,000. There's another one where it's like you cook with your favorite superstar at this fucking restaurant. There's a bunch of these different things, and it's like, how desperate is fucking WWE and TKO right now to do shit like that? They've never done stuff like that. That was always like contest giveaways that you'd get shit like that. Now it's like they're begging for money,
Let me cover a few things you said, and I want to elaborate on them just for a minute. So first thing you asked me was if I would ever go and pay those prices as well. Absolutely, 100%. I will not, and I have declined going to multiple events with people for that exact reason. It's not a money factor to me because I have the money to be able to go like you do. I can't justify sitting over there and going and getting a fucking ticket for $1,000 and not even that good of a ticket. And saying you're taking your partner, or you're taking your kid or whatever it might be, dude, you can walk into a show and get a mid-level seat for $1,000 at a WWE show or more. Right. Right. They have like ringside tickets going for WrestleMania. I think I saw like $90,000 or something like that, or some shit. Like you could buy a house with that.
Yeah.
You could put your kids through college on that.
Right.
For a kid, or part of the way at least in today's economy. But. Yeah. No, I won't pay that. It's a matter of principle because it's gouging and it's wrong. And
it's gouging and it's wrong. And you're stealing moments away that were genuine to, back in the day, going to the garden or even out here, the house shows they've pretty much done away with and stuff, which was a way for people that couldn't afford it to go see it.
Yeah.
And stuff. I just think WWE has forgotten the fan and they've become all about greed. Mm-hmm. I may be the bad guy in this group to say this, but I miss the era of Vince McMahon and actually caring about that shit,
I don't think you're bad for saying that at all, or it's wrong. Vince honestly did. He knew enough to know how to make money, and he was big about it, of course. And he also knew enough to know not to fuck the people that put you to where you're at enough that you're going to try to give them what they want for the most part, or you're going to try to be fair to them. You're going to try to make it affordable. I want to give a shout out when you mention affordability. So, dude, I listened to Tony Khan. He went on Russo and Coachman's show yesterday, and I thought it was awesome that Tony went on there. And I got to say this about Tony. I've always said this. He's a goof, and he is a goof. But he's one of the nicest dudes that you can see that's out there. And they actually mentioned on the show that I was listening to, and it was a really good interview, so I'd suggest go checking it out if you want to. But they even mentioned it to him about WWE fucking people over with ticket prices, how people think it's ridiculous, and even people within the company. And they asked Tony, why don't you do that? And basically, just without saying his exact words, just to sum it up a little bit, He says, I know what it's like to be a wrestling fan, and I want to make things as affordable as possible for people so they can come and have an experience with their family, so they can remember it. And then they read some of the comments from people that are big AEW fans. I know everybody has different opinions on them and whatever, and I get that, but there's people that die hard love this show. And, there's people talking about how much it means to them, and you see this often about that product, that they can afford to actually go to a show like that and have fun and feel connected. That's where WWE is missing out right now. Yeah. And that's why I think there's an opportunity for a secondary company, if they do it right, like an AEW. I'm not saying they can or they will, but it's out there because people are getting tired in this country, in this world, wherever you live, about getting gouged on everything, getting screwed. And I'm not trying to get political here. I respect everybody's political beliefs. You like who you like. We don't do politics. That's not something we do. We'll talk about it a little bit, but we respect everybody's opinion, and I throw that out first. But what's going on right now, especially, is people are getting gouged on everything, and they're allowing them to do it. Yeah. So TKO doing this is following, the leads that have been set for them, and that people are making normalized to screw people over, because we're all the regular people. We're not billionaires and millionaires here. If you guys are, great. I mean, throw some money my way and Rich's way, but we're all normal people, man. And we suffer with that because it takes away things that we can do for our kids and our wives and our partners and our friends and our families. It sucks, man. And I think it's disgusting that they're doing it. And the only way that fans are going to get those tickets back down for WWE, those who want to go to those shows, is you have to boycott that shit. If you really want the ticket prices to go down, you got to show them with standing put and not going to these shows. But the problem is there's fucking idiots out there, excuse my language, that are willing to pay $90,000 for a ticket to sit front row at WrestleMania, or $10,000 to ride around on a bus, with Cody Rhodes. And that's the reason why they do what they do. And they're going to keep doing it as long as you keep putting money in their fucking pocket. And that's stupid, in my opinion.
That's well said. And, the shitty part about it is they forgot the people that brought them to the dance to begin with, to make them the big conglomerate that they are. And they've edged them out so much so that the regular person can't go and have those experiences anymore. You can't take your kids to go do that and stuff. I know a gal at my work that took her son for his first event. I think it was around Christmas time. But anyway, she's still paying off that ticket, because she did the where you can make payments thing. She's still paying off that fucking ticket, dude. It's like,
going with that, Rich, I have to wonder, and I'm not trying to be mean here towards wrestling fans. I'm just being brutally honest, okay? Some of the fans that are going to these shows don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out. How are they affording to go to this thing? And are they maxing credit cards out? Are they doing this shit that's, borrowing money from people? I don't understand how they have the money to go to this stuff. I don't get how you could take, like Rabbi said right here, who's got $5,000 or more. I mean, imagine Rabbi says he's got 5 kids, I think it was 5 kids he said, imagine if Rabbi wanted to take all of his 5 kids to the show and they all wanted to go. Unless Rabbi's loaded and rich, how the fuck can they afford that?
Rabbi would have to sell his Jew gold under his yarmulke to afford that.
Rabbi probably could take the 5. I think Rabbi's like a CEO or something. That's why he doesn't tell us where he's from. He's
a banker.
Yeah, secretly he's doing something big out there, and that's why he doesn't tell us. Maybe he's a celebrity; he could probably afford it. But if he's the common man like Dusty Rhodes and us, how can you afford to take a family out to go there all the time? Unless you're like mortgaging off your future to go there, or you don't want to do anything else the rest of the year. You just really shit with money. I don't understand how you could put yourself in that position to go to a show.
I'm with Tony here. If I'm making payments on a ticket, it better be something in comparison to The Rock versus Austin in their prime. Absolutely,
seriously,
absolutely.
Seriously, something that's just huge, And I'm sorry, there's nothing out there that I see right now that makes it worth that to me. Nothing.
I'll tell you this: if Stone Cold came back for a match against CM Punk, that would probably be the one for me that I would pay to go see.
Yeah. I think everybody's in agreement right here. They're going back to the old school stuff. Joey said it too. Yep. Stone Cold, Rock, or Hogan, Savage demand high ticket prices. Not this garbage. Yeah.
Right.
Does anyone really care about Cody Rhodes? I'll tell you why I do it at the end of the show if you're still around, Tony, because he's going to be part of our main event storyline. There's a lot of opportunity for Cody Rhodes here for them to really do something big with this guy out of WrestleMania. I think the storyline's there if they bite on it. So we're
As
going to talk
long as
about
they do it. Yeah.
They got to bite on it, though. No
Yep.
sports event should ever cost you a house or a car payment. Seriously. And you know what? Let's be realistic. They're not the only fucking ones doing this in sports. You go to an MLB baseball game now, unless you go to a shit place or a shit team, you're going to go walk in there and you're going to spend $150 a ticket for a halfway decent seat in one of the more popular stadiums or baseball shows. Even the shit football teams are selling nosebleed tickets up there for $300-400 to go to a game.
Yep.
I live up near Buffalo. I wanted to go to a Bills game this year, and I was looking at a few of them. And the ticket price isn't even in the nosebleeds. Like I was saying, it's hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I'm not paying that. No way. You should not have to mortgage your life away to go to a show. Shows are supposed to be for fun for people.
And the UFC is following suit.
Absolutely. And it's affecting their stuff, like you mentioned. They're not selling anything on it.
Yep.
$3 to $10 a ticket. That's before my time even, Rev. I remember like a good seat when I was a kid, if you wanted like right near front row, it was like $45-50. That was like front row or second row. Regular like general admission seats used to be like $15 when I was younger.
Yep.
The fact that TKO thought McAfee was the savior, that shows how inept they are, Derek.
They're out of touch. They're completely out of touch.
Yeah. TKO's pride and greed will be their collapse. I agree with that.
Yep.
I miss the house shows too, Raymond. I used to love going to house shows. They were so fun.
They are fun.
Going to G1 Climax in Chicago, the tickets, motel, gas money, despite gas skyrocketing, pale in comparison to the price. See, and look at that right there. Like you just said,
that's
he's going
fucked up. He's doing the top of the line fucking shit for another program.
Yeah.
And not even paying probably a fraction of what WWE
and
costs.
G1's no slouch, man. They have great competitors and great shows for, I think it's New Japan, right? They have great shows, and it's a big thing when they come. And imagine what he said, going to it to go see it, the tickets to the show, the motel, and the gas money, and probably all of your expenses while you're there for anything else you eat, food, whatever, entertainment, would be probably less. You'd spend way less money than the cost of a WWE ticket,
man, that's got to be a cool event to go through. The New Japan Pro Wrestling, it's got to be a different experience than going to like a WWE or AEW or something like that.
The parking lot, yeah, you're all right on this one with the parking too at these places. You can't park at a shit stadium now for under $50 or $60, I don't think. To park your fucking car, man. Come on. Ridiculous. $75 to park. Can you imagine the world we live in where you can do that?
That's fucking insane, dude.
I was talking to a coworker. He said he gets free Blue Jacket tickets because his dad is a veteran. He's worried that they will do away with it. You never know, Joey.
I hate to say it, Joey, but they probably will. They probably will.
Most I ever paid for an event, I paid $100 for a football game, and that's my limit. What's the most you've ever spent at an event, do you think?
Oh, that's a tough one. I would say probably the Mania or the Royal Rumble out here. The Royal Rumble, I went kind of all out on. I got to meet Shinsuke Nakamura and stuff like that. We did a VIP. We did the whole experience with the Royal Rumble. Because sometimes I actually like Royal Rumble better than Mania itself. It's kind of more exciting and a lot more surprises and stuff like that. So we went all out with it. Got the floor seat with the chair to take home and all that stuff. I think that ended up being $850 or something like that for that whole experience. That was getting the meet and greet with Shinsuke, plus all the meet and greets of like the smaller stars, when you had Paige there and all that kind of stuff, Jeff Hardy, those kind of guys. So that was all inclusive. It was like $850, and we were ringside, got to take the chairs home, all that stuff.
Imagine the money you have to pay for a Mania ticket plus Vegas, hotel, food, and other entertainment, plane ticket, parking. Yeah. We were just there, Derek, a couple months ago. And let me tell you, it's not a cheap city to go to.
No. It's a fun ass city to go to. But
amazing. But you better have yourself, if you're going to be going there for spending money and fun money, you better put a couple $1,000 away because you're going to spend that
$2-3 I'd say you'd have a decent 2 days,
But imagine what it'd be if you got a decent Mania ticket, the hotel, which they're going to jack up, the food prices, they'll probably jack up there for the weekend too, entertainment, a plane ticket, and parking. Dude, you're probably not, say you went by yourself for one of those and got a good ticket. Let's throw in one other person there and you got a good ticket to go to Mania. For all those things that Derek just mentioned, I can't see somebody getting off the hook for under $7,500 to $10,000 for that.
Yep. Yeah, I'd say that's accurate. When Connor was supposed to fight Chandler this last time before he broke his toe, I was looking into tickets to go see that, and the hotel prices were double what they normally were,
Yep.
right? Then you had the parking, you had of course, the Uber, all that stuff. Um, but the tickets for nosebleeds were $450. Nosebleeds were $450. So you can only imagine what front row was.
Even FanFest is going to break the bank. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just went to my first wrestling con a few weeks ago, Rabbi, and I'll tell you that day I got to meet everybody I wanted to. I didn't get out of that day in total. I probably spent $600 or $700 for meet and greets that day of people
But
and
you'll
all
never
the stuff.
forget it.
No,
You'll
and I
never
loved every
forget it.
minute of it. I'm going to do it again in November when they come because I think it was an awesome show. It was a great time. But the meet and greets are insane too, like Rabbi had mentioned. Look at what they're doing with Fanatics, okay? So Fanatics is charging people and just charging them the most insane amounts of money to go meet these people that they bring in. And mind you, they bring in some really good names. When I wanted to go see Hogan for Fanatics, I think it was last year, the year before he passed away. It was the year before he passed away, and I was going to go see Hogan in Fanatics. Dude, they were charging like $500 or something like that to go meet him, you know? And I
Yep.
love Hulk, and I wish, hindsight's 20. I tried to go to one of his other ones. I couldn't get in, because of the time, and it had been messed up last year. But man, going into a Fanatics fan fest and spending on somebody $400 or $500 just to get them to take a fucking picture with you that's 10 seconds and to shake their hand. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it
You
sucks,
know?
man, because back when I used to go on the circuit to go to these shows and get all the autographs and stuff, like it was you're talking like $10, $15 admission. You'd go up, pick an autograph combo was $30. Nothing crazy. Now they're charging 60, 70, $80 for a pick and an autograph, like, and you can't take videos. Look at Scott Steiner, he gets
He got
pissed if you
mad.
take videos,
That
like.
was the event that I was at that he did that, bro.
Yep,
You
yep.
know, that's the reason I didn't go up to him that day. Actually, I was going to get him. I've heard he's a prick when you go meet him, anyways. I know you had a different experience, but about 75% of the things I've seen, I would guess 75% of them says he's an asshole and it's just an awful thing. He was the most miserable looking dude. So when I saw that video come out with that guy taping him, I laughed because that's the type of mood he was in that day, and I've pretty much heard that's kind of how he is all the time. So like
Yeah.
he was expensive too. He was like 60, $80 or something for a photo. The cheapest one that I saw at this last fan fest for people that were there, and I'm not going to count the indie people that they brought for whatever stupid reason because nobody cared about them for the majority. But probably the deep, like the lowest, wrestling name, somebody that's kind of in the business, at least a good amount, was Nick Gage. I think he was charging like $20 or something like that.
Jesus.
Maybe like 20 or $25 to see him. Like even like D grade old 90s people that were there from like an ECW or whatever were charging like 30 or $40, like
Yeah.
it's kind of sad to see that it's even come to that for people. But what's going on, Rand? Good to see you. Yeah,
Hey,
free
Rand.
autographs are almost non-existent now for sure. You know,
Mhm.
they really are. Who would pay that for Flair? $500 for him.
They do. They
Yep.
fucking do. And I don't know if you saw this recently, but he did a fucking cameo for somebody about getting married, and my
And he, and
God,
he was shit faced and talking about
holy
about
what is
why to
going
never
on
get
with
it.
this portion of his face right here? I know strokes have an effect on people where, I have it every now and then with my Bell's palsy, but there's something going on like right here with Ric Flair that his jaw is just fucked up.
I would assume, and I'm not a doctor, but with what I do for a living, I would assume it's something related to alcohol usage.
Yep.
When you're that much of a drunk for that long, it affects your blood flow in your body, amongst many other things, of course. I think what it's doing is it's kind of doing that to him, which is why he looks that way all the time. I could be wrong. I don't know.
Right.
He looks terrible, just friggin' terrible. So $500 to get something from him. Come on. Yeah,
It just
Steiner's
cracked me
almost.
up what he kept saying on the cameo. He's like, "Diamonds are forever," and Ric Flair, "I'm a diamond, baby." Like,
That's perfect timing. Tony says, "How is he still alive with his liver? How's his liver?" I
yeah.
don't know, Tony. Like
You
he's
would think that Hulk Hogan would outlive him, but he didn't. You know.
no, no. I mean, he's got to be studied by science afterwards or something when he passes away. Hopefully, a long time down the road. We're not wishing anything like that on Rick. He's got to be studied by science because This guy, talk about a guy that has abused his body through the years, not just within the wrestling ring, but a plane crash that he was in and broke his fucking back, all the years of
Not only
bumps.
that, he's always looked like shit. It's not like he's in like pristine health. Even in his prime, he still looked like shit.
But the thing was, they always said about him, they said he had cardio like nobody you'd ever seen in your life. They said he could walk on a stair stepper for an hour like it was nothing, probably do, fucking hours more of it. He'd get in a 60-minute match every night. Like, he might not have had the Hogan-esque look at that time or the big bodybuilder look, but he had the cardio and he had the gas, in him. I don't know how his liver's still kicking, though, Tony. He's got to be a freak of nature or a scientific experiment to study, because that dude has probably consumed more alcohol in his life than probably like a country,
he probably could have kept up with Andre the Giant, I bet.
Man, I wonder, I mean, when I hear legendary drunks, Andre's always the top one, but a lot of people say the same about Rick. But you kind of hear when he gets drunk, he gets really fucking loud and obnoxious more than what he is, and he gets kind of incoherent. And then the rumor is that he's rolling around Tampa now, and people have been saying it's whether it's a joke or not. I can see it being the truth that when he gets real shit-faced, he shits himself.
Well, he does planks randomly too. Like, he'll just start planking on the floor.
Can you imagine that shit?
Imagine walking into it, but like if we were at Dick's, in fucking Vegas, and you walk up to it and he's got a white hat on and he's doing a plank on the fucking ground.
Bro, can you imagine? For those who've never been to Dick's Last Resort, it's where the food's definitely doesn't look appetizing. I've had it before a couple of times, but the food ain't that good looking. It looks like shit. But the drinks are just stiff as hell there, and it's the place where the waiters and waitresses and the bartenders and hostesses and everybody that works there, they're just mean to you and can say whatever the fuck they want to you. Can you imagine Ric Flair going to a Dick's Last Resort just to drink with him and hang out with him? That would be the most fun experience ever.
He'd get fucking ate alive though, man.
Oh, he'd give it back to him, that she'd be calling.
He's kind of a crybaby when it comes
to is, but he'd go full wrestler on him if they started calling him fucking names or acting a certain way to him. He'd go total nature boy on him. Before you know it, he's gonna be behind the bar giving the fucking woo right in the face to the bartender,
Yeah.
Clean up
I mean, you might mistake the food there for Ric Flair's shit on the ground too, though, because that food looked horrible, bro. Don't eat that.
Terrible. Joey said, me laughing at Flair looking at a nice tall Coors Light.
Yep.
I think that's very true, Jeremy. I think he sold his soul to the devil for fame and fortune a long time ago. I think that's
he didn't have much to sell because of his fucking wives taking it in the alimony.
Tax problems. You name it, man. I've seen that on a drunk when I was dealing with him, and then about 4 months later, his jaw locked up in a drool problem. Well, there you go. It could be something like that too. I pulled the best April Fool's Day prank. I'm going to Mania. All my friends fell for it. I'm still over how people are gullible. I told them the next day it was a joke. They were probably jealous of you, saying being able to afford to go to that in your joke, Raymond.
Yep.
All right. What do you got for another topic that you wanted to chat on tonight, buddy?
Well, CM Punk's promo, dude. What do you think? I mean, you were telling me it was the promo of the year. I had to race home and watch Monday Night Raw to catch it. Let me just say, been pretty critical of the Roman Reigns CM Punk storyline, but I'm pretty excited to see it. I mean, it's not to the level of Steve Austin and The Rock or Hogan versus Rock or anything like that, but I will say there's always fine print when selling your soul. You got famous movie. Yeah, absolutely. Ric Flair definitely didn't read the fine print on that one.
No.
But anyways, the Roman Reigns stuff with CM Punk, I think Punk is really carrying the story, by the way. And I'm not a massive Punk mark or anything like that. I think he's done really well. And it's one of the matches that I'm actually excited to see. And I wanted to get your thoughts on it because you were telling me this was like the promo of the year. What was it with you that you felt that way?
And I'm not the biggest, I'm going to throw this out there too. I'm not the biggest CM Punk fan in the world too. I personally think he's a miserable prick most of the time. And, I'm glad to see that he's getting along and there's been no problem that he's been in there that we've heard of. So I want to throw that out there first because there's some people that are like just diehard CM Punk fans and everything like that. With that said, I got to say this when I look at Punk's career and when they let him be CM Punk and they let him do his thing for his character, there's really not many people in the business in the history of the business that are as good on the mic as that guy. You know, he's top 5 on the mic of all time to me, easily. And
that's fair.
yeah, I mean, people might say I'm wrong on that. They might agree. I don't know. Whatever your opinion is, I respect it. And I'm saying this as not a guy, as a guy that's not that big of a fan about him. His delivery and how he does things just draws you in and makes you invested in wanting to see it. He shows emotion so well. He makes wrestling seem real when it's not, you know? And that's what I like about CM Punk's promos when he gets in there. This one on Monday with him was just that, and it was more. I think it was his best promo he's ever given in his entire career that I've seen.
Even better than the pipe bomb?
Way better.
Wow.
Way better to me. Way better. And that one was a good one too. I mean, amazing one. That pipe bomb was great. This was him, whether it was, you know, kayfabe or not, or however they were doing it. This was him being him and doing what he does best, and that's going out there and laying it on the line and getting you to be invested into whatever he's doing, to show you that he is the main event of this and to show you that he is the best in the world. And listen to that promo that he gave on Monday, just showed me why he's one of the best on the mic, and it made me want to watch this match even more. This whole feud between him and Roman, to me, 1 week we liked it, 1 week we didn't. 1 week we liked it, 1 week we didn't. I'm at the point now with it where I'm really sold on it now, and I'm at the point where I'm like, I'm ready to see this match. I really am looking forward to it.
I kind of feel like Roman Reigns has lost a step a little bit.
I do too.
You know, whether it be inactivity or whatever the case.
It's not that.
He doesn't seem like he's carrying his weight on the promos. It doesn't seem like he just doesn't seem genuine. He's not tapping into the tribal chief character that we've grown to love. I don't know what it is. What's missing here, man?
He's not a baby face. That's what it's what it is right there. Yes, he has people that love him, and I love the tribal chief. I think he's great. So I am a huge fan of him as a heel. I don't like the face Roman. I will always raise my hand to the tribal chief for sure. My finger, excuse me, to the tribal chief. I love that stuff. You know, I love what he's done when he was a heel. He's not a fucking baby face, man. You got to make him a chicken shit heel that kicks your ass too when he gets in there. You're not the chicken shit heel that you know, you think there's no chance in hell if he wins a match against somebody. He needs to be what he was, the chicken shit heel that he can beat everybody, and you know he can, even if he has to do it by himself. He's going to cheat a lot. He's going to do what he's going to do. You know, he's going to have his way of doing things. He's going to be an egotistical prick in his heel stuff, but there's still going to be people that are going to like him too. But he can't be all the way face to me. He's not there. He wasn't there before he went heel. He's not there now, and he doesn't resonate. Not resonate. He doesn't come off the way that he should all the way as a babyface or somebody that's trying to be a tweener, you know, where they're going in the middle of babyface and heel all the time. Punk can get away with it to me. Punk can get away with it. He knows how to do it. Roman doesn't know how to do it, in my opinion. He is all or nothing. He's a heel. That's the way he is best. You know, he's not a tweener.
So Roman, for me, I just feel like he needs to tap into that tribal chief character. It's not working for him. He's never been a good babyface. You know, even when they would match him up against Brock Lesnar, you would hear him getting booed out of the fucking building. You know, man, I think CM Punk is the star of the show on this one. I think he's earned his spot. I think it's going to outshine Cody Rhodes' match by far. I really do. But I will honestly say there's no chance that Roman Reigns walks away with the win here.
Disagree.
Really?
I'll talk about it at the end of the show.
Okay.
I'll talk about it at the end of the show. Rabbi said the same thing. He's going to do the job from, I'll say it. We'll talk about it at the end of the show. We'll come right back to that. So we're going to come back to that at the end. I'll leave it be for there. I may be in the minority, but his promo on Monday seemed like gatekeeping. Explain why, Joe. I'm interested to hear why. You know, I'd like to hear your answer on that. Do you agree? You don't think it was gatekeeping, do you, Richie?
No, I think it was a really great promo.
Yeah. Interesting thoughts, Joey, and I respect your opinion too. I know you're a longtime fan and a great guy too. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on. Type them in if you don't mind if you hear this. So I'd like to hear why it wasn't that big of a good a deal to you, or why it was a gatekeeping one. I'm interested to hear your opinion. What do you think about the rest of the card? Well, because we're going to come back to Punk and all these guys at the end of the show. What do you think of the rest of? Have you seen the full WrestleMania lineup for night 1 and 2 that they put out?
I haven't seen it yet, but I gotta say the sleeper match for me that I'm excited about, and you know, I never, ever, ever, ever have been a huge fan of Seth Rollins. I will never forgive him for shortening the life and career of Sting in the fucking WWE.
Mm-hmm.
I think Sting should have had a title run, and I think Seth Rollins ruined it. Um, but I gotta say that I'm really excited for the Gunther Seth Rollins match. I am. I think it looks pretty cool. I think that WWE threw a Hail Mary with this program, and if they abandon ship on the vision as a whole, and they just put Paul Heyman with Gunther, those two mouthpieces together with Gunther's promo, Paul Heyman's promo, and that matchup is going to be fucking amazing, in my opinion. I think it's
Gunther should go hitting on this really quick, Richie. Gunther should be with Paul Heyman, not because he needs a mouthpiece, because Gunther's great on the mic to me. He should only be with Paul Heyman because he should be how they treated Brock Lesnar as his big beast incarnate for all those years.
Yep.
You know, Paul, I know at certain points, man.
And then Paul should turn on Brock and destroy him with Gunther.
Amen. 100%. Brock's going to let him down in the Oba thing. Paul's going to get pissed about it somehow. He doesn't have it in him anymore. His new guy comes and takes him out, puts him out for a few months. At SummerSlam, you get the big payoff. Career match right there. And Gunther, that's how you write it right there. Yep. So that, to me, if you don't write it that way, it's stupid.
Yeah.
You know?
WWE writers need to take notes, man. We're doing it for free.
Seriously, we're giving you the ideas here. That's what I saw all day when I saw him come out the other week, and I know we didn't get a chance to talk about it because we were off last week, but that's what I saw too. He needs to dump these losers in division and get rid of that whole fucking stupid faction. I know Braun is going to come back eventually, and what's Tubbo's name?
Bronson Reed.
Yeah, that guy. You know, so he's got for like a long ass time, and Austin Theory just sucks, and Logan Paul does not need to be with them either, but they're the tag champs now, so I don't know. Paul needs to be with Gunther. That's how you.
Boy, they really shit the bed on the tag team division, didn't they?
What a clusterfuck it is, bro.
There's not even a solid division. It's just like the women's tag team division. There's literally, you got the New Day, and that's about it. You know, you got the Vision and the New Day.
Well, the Usos are back together now. You know, who knows what they're doing with that
Them
shit.
too, yeah.
Let me read through the card for night 1 and night 2 for you guys if you haven't seen it. Let me know your thoughts on this, you know, because this will help lead us into the main event topic we'll take after the break, or we'll start after the break. Here's night 1. It is a 6-person match, and it's the Usos and LA Knight taking on the Vision and I Show Speed. What?
This is one thing WWE is getting completely wrong. I am so fucking sick of these influencers being featured on WWE TV. What are we doing at this point?
Are you
going to start picking people off of YouTube and just throwing them on fucking WWE television?
That's what this I Show Speed guy is. He's a YouTube guy, if I recall correctly.
Him, Logan Paul. I mean, all these fucking people. You know, it's like, why? WWE is not creating characters within anymore. It's all fucking influencers they're bringing over. It's all the Jelly Rolls of the world, the fucking Logan Pauls, the I Show Speeds. And it to me, it's kind of pathetic, and it shows you the state of the company. You know,
it's an over-reliance on things that don't need to be if you're doing it right. You don't need to rely on celebrities all the time or influencers.
And it's irritating, man, because, you know, you bring a guy like Danhausen on, and he's one of my favorite parts of the show now, and it's even a small feature of it as he is. It kind of frustrates you because you realize AEW has a lot of chemicals in their makeup that would be really good if they knew how to put it together and create that formula that you bottle up and make a beautiful thing. They've got the veteran wrestlers. They've got all these people that are up and coming. It's much like TNA. They had all the guys that were WWE's fucking main event featured, you know, the Samoa Joes, the AJ Styles, all those guys. They were all fucking TNA. And TNA, that goes to show you they had it all. They just didn't put it together properly. AEW is the same way, and it's irritating to me because you see these guys now, they're getting signed by WWE and gobbled up by the machine, and they're just doing the same shit, you know?
Yep. Next match, Richie, Jacob Fatu, Drew McIntyre. That should be a fun match.
That's going to be a great match.
Yeah, they're going to beat the shit out of each other in that one.
Yep.
Next one on night one is Stephanie Vacquer, however you say it. Stephanie Vacquer. She's got a great name. You can say it whatever fucking way you want.
Yep.
Stephanie Vacquer, whatever the hell it is, versus
Natty Neidhart.
No, never. We don't want that fuck. Ever.
I don't know. With that goose egg on her head, they might put Natty Neidhart in there.
Oh God, no! Please. I'm turning night one. I'm not watching and streaming that shit.
And then I hope it fucking freezes on your television, so it's just stuck with Natty with her face.
You ever seen those clips when people get mad at the sport?
The makeup on her.
Have you ever seen when people get mad? Those clips where people are throwing fucking TVs and shit like that, and pounding them. That's probably what I would do.
Oh my
Get
God.
the fuck off of here! No.
Yeah, every time Nia Jax comes on, I always tell my wife, I'm like, you have no. I smell the fumes of fucking burping hot Cheetos. It's disgusting.
Oh, I love it. We'll give predictions next week, since next week's WrestleMania week, guys. I'm just reading the card off tonight, but we'll give our predictions next week. Then we have the next match, another women's match, AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch for the women's Intercontinental title. I could care less. Could you?
I think it's been told well. I've liked the return of AJ Lee. I like the whole focus on mental health and stuff like that. And I like the games that she's playing with Becky Lynch. I also love the promo that Danhausen did with Becky Lynch that you said.
Hilarious.
I thought that shit was pretty clever.
And she played it off great too. She was hilarious in it with him as well.
I just hope AJ Lee wins.
Yeah, I could care less on this one. I'm not a Becky Lynch fan by any means, and I'm not a hater of her, but I'm also the same with AJ Lee. She doesn't do it for me. She never did before. She really does it now. It's nice to see her come back and all that good shit, but I could care less. But hopefully they end it. They've been going on forever, so hopefully it ends finally after this. We'll see where it goes, though. I would assume that Becky probably gets the belt back, but we'll get our opinions next week.
Yeah.
You mentioned this earlier. This is probably going to be the match of the night, I think. To me, I would think it would be. There's a close runner-up, but I think this is going to be the show stealer, as you mentioned earlier. Gunther and Seth Rollins is also on night one, so
that's going to steal the show for that night.
I don't see any way it doesn't. No matter what people think of Rollins or Gunther, everybody's, I think, probably got to admit they're both pretty damn good in the ring. And Gunther,
they're two of the best workers by far.
Yeah, and they have a completely different style, which I think is going to match up really cool in this match. So I'm really looking forward to that one. So
I'm hoping we get a Randy Orton moment where Seth Rollins goes to step on Gunther's neck. He flings him in the air and catches him in the fucking sleeper. I think that'd be a cool spot.
We'll see. Who knows? Next one is another women's match on this. Jesus, it's 3 women's matches on night one, Rich. Bayley and Lyra Valkyria versus the Bellas versus the Irresistible Forces, your girl, versus Alexa
fucking girl,
and Charlotte Flair for the women's tag titles. No Natty on any part of it.
She's the guest referee.
Is she really?
Yeah.
You got to be fucking shitting me. Is she really?
Yep.
No fucking way.
Yep.
Fuck me. Really?
No.
Oh, thank God. I could see him doing that. That's why I thought it. I was like, because they've been putting her on TV a lot. This was their way to kind of put her and give her something to do probably for that. I could have pictured that. Boy, that would have sucked.
Yeah.
That would have
sucked. You don't want to see her on Mania at all.
No. That's piss break time if that's happening there. Wow. If they're listening, they're probably going to insert her in next week now, thinking about that. If fucking Natty Neidhart gets inserted into the fucking thing as the referee, it's on you. Okay,
it is. It's
on you.
I will take that.
You're gonna get the fucking goof of the year for doing that shit.
Yeah.
For putting that out there.
I'd take it.
You were gonna feel I might cut a promo on you more than her for that. It'll be your fucking fault. You cursed
come out to your favorite rock song again with a Mets jersey on.
Danhausen needs to curse Natty Neidhart, okay?
She'll have gas again.
Fart and Natty's going to come back. He's going to curse her to come back to her roots.
Dude, her and Nia would be a great fucking tag. Both of them are gassy as fuck.
I don't know why, but I think they tried pairing them up at some point together in the past. I could be way wrong, but I just have this feeling like they did something like that before with
They're
them.
A match made in stinky ass heaven.
Oh, I love it. All right, and then the final night, the headliner, the main event for night one WrestleMania is Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton. I'm really looking forward to that one too.
I am too. I don't think it's going to be the story that we think it's going to be. And I think Randy Orton's going to walk away with the win.
All right. All right. That's night one, guys. We'll do predictions next week. So think on them for next week. Here's night two. This is one of the biggest matches I'm looking forward to. And I think it's not going to be the longest match, but I think they're going to give you a lot of bang for your buck in this. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I think it's probably one of the best things they've done to build up in storyline wise for WrestleMania. And on night two, I don't know if this is the opener or not, but it's going to be Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar, as we've talked about a lot.
You know, Brock's done this at Mania before, where he gets in there, he gets out, and he tries to get his money. Even when he was Universal Champion at Mania that year, he was the first match that opened the show. It's kind of interesting that they do that with him, but I think it's more him, his scheduling wise, how he sets it up. This is a match I'm looking forward to. I think it's going to be a banger. Probably one of the last times we see Brock Lesnar at Mania.
I think this will be his second to last match. You know, this will be right before his last match. I can, even though they haven't announced it as the opener yet, I can see it being the opener. I think it actually is probably the smartest way to start the show, would be to start it with these two guys. That's my opinion now.
Yep.
Going to be interesting to see.
I thought a good co-main spot would be Brock versus Oba, but
I think it kind of already is. It's just kind of, it's kind of the unsound thing. Each of those kind of has, like, if you look at how they do things for night one and night two, they basically set up like, the main event match for the night, and of course, and the one that's usually the most anticipated as their co. I think the one for WrestleMania night one, that would be like the co-main event, even though it hasn't been building as long, is definitely Gunther and Rollins. I think that's kind of their co-main event. And for night two, I agree with you, whether it opens it up or not. Obafemi and Brock is definitely the co-main event one, the second biggest one on this.
You think it's going to be a long match?
No, I don't. I think it'll be under 10 minutes probably. And I think their intros are going to be longer than the match or close to it. So
yeah, I
can't wait to see Obafemi coming down that long stage doing his, little ward thing that he does to the music.
Because it's pretty cool, huh?
It's awesome. I mean, I love it. Imagine him coming down, how long it's going to take to come down that big friggin' stage, doing that thing. So I think it'll be about a 10-minute long match if I was to take a guess, but
for sure,
we'll see. The next match on night two, Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, Rusev, Penta, JD McDonough, Intercontinental title. Derek had mentioned it earlier that this is probably going to be, a great match, sleeper match. I would agree with Derek, and I think this could also be a show stealer for the night for this match too. These guys are all great.
Who was this?
Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, and Rusev, and Penta, and JD McDonough in an Intercontinental title ladder match. Five people in there.
They put fucking Rusev in that match?
Yeah. I think in their mind, they got to have something for the dude. So
they should have took him out and put fucking Ray Phoenix or somebody.
I would agree. I don't think he has a purpose here, but I don't watch the show every week, so I don't know if they've been putting something in with him to be able to insert him in this somehow, but he's been just a dud since he came back last year for sure.
Sucks because when they did the Rusev Day shit, he was huge,
awesome. Yeah. It's because they book him all wrong, but that's going to be a great match too. I can't wait to see Javon Evans in this ladder match.
He seems to be one of your one of the prospects that you like a lot.
I like him a lot as when I watch him. He's a lot of fun, He's a great character. He seems like a really nice guy. He's energetic. He's confident in himself. He's just a lot of fun to me. And
yeah, I'm hoping if they go if they put the strap on him, that's great. But they better elevate Penta to the main event scene after that. But I think Penta needs a nice long reign with the Intercontinental Championship. I think he's earned it.
Cool. I agree. We'll talk about it next week, but I like that idea too.
Yeah.
Here's what Joey said about the Punk thing earlier. He said it was lowering the ticket with Punk saying lowering the ticket prices came off as fake and hollow. He gets paid more if the tickets are expensive. Interesting perspective, Joey. I respect that opinion for sure. I respect that one. I'll get to these comments in a second here, guys. Danhausen as the ref with Miz and other guys versus Truth and Damian Priest. Brock will go on first. Show starts at 3 p.m. Vegas time. 5-minute match. He's back on a plane and home by 6. Probably for sure.
On that one. Eating a tomahawk steak.
The way he picked up the security guard. Yeah, Opa is a beast, Raymond.
Yeah,
And Brock is as well, of course, but Opa's the new shiny object for a lot of people right now, and rightfully so, because that guy can fucking go. He's a big dude.
Yep.
Then the next match after this Intercontinental title ladder match is Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill for the women's title. I could care less.
Have they even done much with that?
They've been trying to build it up, I guess, over the last few weeks a little bit. They were continuing it on this week.
Rhea has fallen the fuck off, dude.
She sure has, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree. I have no interest in this match. I could care less.
Yeah.
So I could care less about this next match too. After that, Sami Zayn and Trick Williams. Sami Zayn is awful.
Jesus. That's on Mania?
Yeah, it's for the because Sammy's the new US champion. So and what's his name? Not Carmelo. Trick was the one before, I believe, or something like that. That Sammy got it from. Was it Trick or Carmelo? Whoever it was, I can't remember. But I could care less about this match too. I don't think Sami Zayn is any good, and I don't like him on the fucking card.
You know what? Goof of the week is the WWE for putting Sami fucking Zayn on WrestleMania.
There you go. Hold on. Let me hit the sound effect here. We gotta do it proper for that one. Hold there, and it's been a couple weeks, so.
No, Mark Kerr's a fucking goof. He's a fucking goof. Jeez, anybody who knows him knows he's a goof.
He's a fucking goof.
Then we got Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio, and Finn's going to be the demon for this.
That's going to be an incredible match.
I don't like about this, though, Richie, that they announced him doing the demon before.
Yeah, I don't like that either, but you know what? It'll be a great return of the demon. We've been wanting to see it for a while, and if this elevates Finn Balor back into the main event scene, I'm all for it.
Yep. Interesting to see that they're bringing it back this way with telling people, but I'm glad the demon's coming back for sure.
What happens if it goes the other way? You know, how do you book it from there if Dom wins? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll hit on that. We'll hit on that for sure because there's a lot of ways they can go. I don't think Dom can beat the demon though.
No.
You know, but it'd be a good feather in his cap if he did. So depends upon what they see in Dom and how they're going with that. But we'll hit on that next week. Then, of course, the main event of night 2 for WrestleMania is Roman versus Punk. Do you think that's the main event? That's the one that it should be for the main event? You know, night 2 is always the big main event, the headliner.
Yeah, Roman versus Punk should have been it. You know, I feel bad for Seth Rollins because that was actually supposed to be for him. But you know what? Roman versus Punk is an exciting match. And I think it's suitable to be the main event. And Punk has wanted to be the main event his whole fucking career. So this is his moment. I think the storyline's pretty decent. I think the cards, night 1 and night 2, they've stacked pretty well. I'll definitely be excited for it.
I got to say this. If you had Rollins in there, Rollins against Punk, if that was the original way that they were going to go and that's the way you did it, if you had Rollins in there, that is not the night 2 main event. That is not the headliner of WrestleMania. That's when Cody and Randy would have been it. I think Roman being Roman and his character and all the great stuff that he's done through the years, and I'm not saying Seth isn't a huge star too, but he's not a Roman star. And Roman being in there over Seth made that the night 2 one. And I'm sure Cody and Randy are going to – they're a pretty close second to me, you know, like for them. If they would have gone that route, I could have understood it too, you know, for sure, because they're both great talents, and Cody's arguably been their biggest attraction for the last like 4 years or something. So I could have seen them going that route, but just putting Roman in there versus Punk sold it to me.
Yeah, for sure.
So, all right, guys, we're gonna do the main event when we come back. Let me get to a couple comments here really quick. Balor's got us. The Demon's back. These WWE ticket prices got me doing laundry in the bathtub and hanging them up on the ceiling fan to dry.
Yeah.
I love it. What horror movie is set in Las Vegas? I don't know, Rand. Tell me. Hit me with it. Roman versus Punk. Lots of rumors of Vince returning or The Rock. Well, come back on the next segment. Don't leave, guys, because we're going to talk about all that and more, and we'll hear your thoughts as well on this as we get to the main event. And once again, the main event is going to be this TKO versus WWE. It's the next huge storyline. How are these things going to all come together? Kind of fantasy booking this a little bit off what we've seen. We'll see where they go, but I think it's a good topic that we can bring up, and it's all going to bring together the stuff we were talking about just right now and throughout the show. So let's say 5 to 10. Come on back. We'll see you guys on the other end. Don't go away. We'll be right back and come back and join us. We're going to have a good topic to end the show tonight. So we'll see you guys in about 5 to 10. All right, everybody, we're back. Hopefully, everybody had a good break. Now we're on to the main event tonight. TKO WWE is the next huge WWE storyline. Well, we've talked a lot throughout the show. Yeah, Bad Street USA. You gotta love that song, Jeremy, for sure. But we talked throughout the show about some of the things they're doing into WrestleMania. We talked about CM Punk earlier. We really haven't hit on Cody yet. And this happened a couple weeks ago where they brought Stephanie McMahon back. And she kind of, cut a promo on Cody, and Cody kind of cut a promo back on her. And then Cody kind of left it at that, kind of thanking her for pushing him, because I guess she was kind of ruthless on him in it. But Stephanie really hasn't been seen, and I don't know why. At first that they were bringing her into this. Like why is Stephanie McMahon coming into this? What's the big? Why does she need to be involved in this? So there's that factor with Cody and the Randy and the feud with Stephanie McMahon. Then you get the stuff tonight or not tonight, but Monday night with CM Punk that we were talking about earlier, and that promo that he gave. And in that promo, he shit on the ticket prices. Going back to what we were saying earlier. He talked about Vince McMahon. He talked about I like the dog food line that he mentioned with Roman,
Mm-hmm.
He made you eat dog food, and he just treated me like a dog. Like Punk went really kind of scorched earth on certain topics. And Cody did the same thing on a promo right after he got bloodied and beaten up by Randy Orton that night. He went on and because Pat McAfee joined fucking Orton, the other night and came out. He was the guy on the phone, which we haven't talked about that yet. Kind of waited on that for this reason right here. He was the idiot on the phone, That was the big surprise, was Pat McAfee, which I think was just stupid and terrible. And I think, though, is leading into something that they're trying to do, because Pat McAfee, I believe, is represented by their agency for his agent or something like that too. Pat McAfee said he wasn't going to be doing any commentary anymore. Now suddenly Pat's back in the fold. Stephanie was there the week before. Cody's cutting promos on this. He cut promos on, like, I think it was TKO a little bit too, on his promo afterwards. And then Punk does it this Monday. Like WWE, unless they're trying to do something here, they would not be allowing this. And these guys would be in serious trouble if they were really not getting fed this to do. And I think it's leading up to something much bigger. Jeremy and I were talking about it together. We were chatting back and forth during Raw. He thought the same thing I did. He said it to me first. I've been seeing it, and I saw it on Monday. Dude, they're building something here that's going to be their next big feud, in my opinion. And I think what they're trying to ultimately do is kind of create their own kind of modern day WCW versus the NWO type thing, kind of this other people coming in and taking over the show and making it their own. And the people, for the company that's had the name for all these years, that's been the, proving ground for professional wrestling, so to speak. They're the WCW in this case. And TKO is kind of the NWO in this case, where they've taken over, they bought them, and they're trying to kind of change things around, and the fans not being happy about ticket prices, the performers mentioning it, the $10,000 buses, like you mentioned. They're bringing these things out there that it's ludicrous, that, it's stupid, it's nuts. There's no way that they would be doing this unless they were told to do it for a reason, because TKO owns the company, of course, and they're not going to stand for that. WWE is owned by TKO now, whether we like it or not. Before, it was Vince McMahon that had the final say in everything. Now it's not that way. They're not going to allow this to happen unless they're doing something with this. What do you think about that thought first, Richie?
Oh, there's a lot to unpack there. I personally, in my opinion, I don't think they're going that route. But if they do, it would behoove them to not just do the WCW versus NWO gimmick. They should do the WWE versus WCW all over again. I think that would be the smartest way that they could do it. You create two brands and you go against each other, and you end it at War Games, and have it kind of be like an invasion angle, and do it the right way. You have the talent to do it. You have two shows anyways. Make it seem bigger than it is. Bring Triple H, get him involved. Bring The Rock in, get him involved. Have them be the two heads of it, and really set this thing off. I think there's a lot of different avenues that they could go with it. You could do a draft. You could do a shake-up scene for SmackDown and Raw with the superstars that are on each show. The drafts were always fun for me. I always loved it. So bring that back. Add some twists in there. I think it could be good, man. I think it could be good.
I think it's something they can build off. The reason I say it's kind of like the NWO, I can see it from where you're saying like WCW, WWE invasion style. However you want to slice and dice it, that's kind of how I'm leaning towards it's going to be. It's going to be some type of invasion angle, it seems. And there's a lot of people that, like you mentioned in there, that there's ways to finally put this all together with The Rock from what he had a few years ago with Cena and Cody and their feud. There's a way to kind of put this together now if they do it correctly, or if they do it. Yeah, they really can bring a lot of those missing pieces back, and it can kind of really blow the wrestling fans' mind a little bit that they actually paid these things off. There's been all these signs for years, and it can look like this thing, if they do it right, that it's been something that they've been doing for setting up for a long time. They've been setting this up in storyline. Even if they weren't doing that, and it's just something that they were able to kind of put some of these things together with, you can still make the fans believe that they've been doing this for
Joey,
a long
man.
time.
When you're TKO for life. Unless
Yeah, seriously. Joey says he doesn't agree with them using the fans' price about ticket prices for a storyline. I think they're doing it, Joey, because they're trying to find a way to get the fans to see what they're doing. And I think that's kind of why they're doing it, because they're trying to make them look like they're the little engine now that could. They always used to be the big dog in the house. Now they're the little engine because they're now owned by TKO. That's why I think they might be doing the ticket prices thing as a storyline. That's why I don't have a problem with it, too. Punk, Cody, and Finn going to form the Bullet Club to take out the TKO guys and save WWE. TKO picks 5 guys. We have War Games. Loser gives up power ownership. Winners control the company.
Please, God, no.
I don't want it to be the Bullet Club. I want it to be something a lot different from this. And WrestleMania can help set this up. I think Roman wins on night one against Punk for a reason, because Roman's going to be a big part of this. He's going to be a big part of this storyline that I can see them doing. Roman's been the face of the company for years and years and years. He's been the big seller for them. And I think he might be managed by TKO too, and his cousin, who is managed by the TKO Group for Agents as well. The Rock is, on the board of directors on the WWE's, the TKO Golden Goose for them. He's right there. Roman is the guy that they could kind of put on the spotlight again a little bit, or one of the main pieces of how they could do this. So that's why I think Roman goes over on night one. If he does, I think they're going to go down this route, because Roman's going to be the start of it, to get Roman to the win somehow. How do they do it? Do they bring The Rock back to help him? Does he do it clean? Do they do it with some bullshit? I think you got to bring The Rock back to help him on night.
You have to bring The Rock back.
Yeah. And the story's there too for them to put Punk in with him, because they've had issues in the past. They've had things at scrums before where we've seen them. When The Rock came back a couple years ago, they had that match before Punk left all those years ago. Punk had to lose the title to him, didn't want to do it. There's storyline right there with The Rock to join in. Yep. And The Rock and Roman have never settled up from what happened 2 years ago at WrestleMania when Roman lost the belt. They've never paid that off to it as well. This is a way to pay off those things. Get The Rock involved, have him cost Punk, have Roman go get the win on night one. Yep. Then on night two, this is where it comes full circle. So you got Randy and Randy and McAfee in this corner here. McAfee's the TKO guy that they got. And everybody's thinking Randy's going to be with him at this point, and Randy's going to, get over on Cody with the help of him from TKO. You had Stephanie the week before. Everybody thinks Randy's the one to win this, and it's the money for him to win it because they can do it with him. I think it's the complete opposite. I think you do a complete swerve on them, and the alliance and the people that's going to lead TKO is going to be Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes needs to go heel here in this situation. They all turn on Randy Orton.
We've been saying it for a while.
Yeah, they sucked him in. They made him believe that they were going to put everything behind him. He was pairing up and buddies with McAfee there. McAfee's giving him advice. He's the TKO guy. They're telling him he's going to be the leading the charge for them. Whatever. Everybody thinks Randy's going to be the big heel here for this and win over Cody. Cody goes heel, aligns with all these guys, and he becomes kind of like the Hogan was for the NWO, the leader, the one that really made the shock. And then you bring it together and build this faction in, and you build it with The Rock. You build it with Cody Rhodes together. You build it with Roman Reigns together. You put a couple other pieces involved in this as well to start setting this feud up. Think if you have both championships for both brands on The Rock, or excuse me, Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. Put them together in a faction. Rock ties them in. Rock helps out. Rock helps Cody Rhodes go heel on night 2. Sets it all up to come together. Then at that point, think about if you had The Rock, Cody, and Roman as the main pieces of this TKO faction. I think it'd be awesome.
I think it'd be awesome, but I don't think that The Rock schedule. See, whenever you talk about anything with The Rock, it's going to be short term.
Mm-hmm.
The schedule's not going to allow it. They're not going to invest enough time in it because The Rock, I don't know if The Rock just gets bored with wrestling. Like, he gets in there, he gets motivated, he does it, and then it's over with. And, you know, he really let the wrestling community down when he was announced as the board of directors member. He was supposed to be involved in this massive storyline with Cody Rhodes and John Cena and the heel turn of John Cena. He was supposed to play the devil character where John Cena sold his soul to the devil kind of thing. WWE had an opportunity to make The Rock Vince McMahon 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
And they let it slip through their fucking fingers, I don't see this happening. It's great to talk about. It's great to fantasy book and stuff like that. Unfortunately, I don't see it happening. I don't think WWE is smart enough to do it. I really don't.
That they don't have the pieces put together for it?
Nope. I think they have all the chemicals to make it up.
They just don't have the leadership to put it there.
They don't have a leadership, and their writing crew is so fucking bad.
Dreadful.
They're not wrestling fans. They don't care about the product. They're trying to write a TV show just like Vince Russo did in WCW, and it's never going to work. It's never going to work, and they're not smart enough to pull a storyline off the caliber of that.
Do you think that they have any intentions of doing something like this?
No.
Okay.
None whatsoever.
Interesting. I just have this weird feeling that they do. And Triple H is kind of the guy to lead the WWE for us. This is kind of how you can get Triple H back.
Who leads in The Rock's position?
Well, that's what I'm saying. The Rock's not going to be in there working all the time or anything like that. Like Triple H can't work because of his heart thing. They're kind of the Bischoffs, the head of it from whatever side they are, as the leading piece there. Rock's leading the piece, leading the team.
You need them to be, if they're in those positions, in those key roles and stuff. Bischoff was a role that was on TV all the time.
Correct. Rock could get away with it on his side because they would have such major pieces, being Cody Rhodes, the Romans, anybody else they might incorporate. They have other pieces that can make up for if The Rock isn't there every week. Triple H, if you have him, he's there every week. So you can get him all the time if you need to.
That's my problem with something like this, though. And shame on The Rock for you can't be half foot in on something like this.
Yeah.
Him being the board of the directors and stuff, when he took that role on and shit, he should have said, okay, I've had my acting career. I'm almost a fucking billionaire. If I'm stepping into this role, I have to take it serious. I have to go the whole way for the respect of the business that made him who he is and everything like that, and his family dynasty and stuff. The Rock should be all in to take this product to the next level. The way you do that is what you're talking about, a storyline, him versus Triple H. The story sells itself and it tells itself. They've had a monumental career that rivaled each other the whole fucking way.
Yeah, match after match together that they were in all the time. Storyline after storyline.
One of my favorite matches of all time is Triple H versus The Rock in a ladder match for the IC title. You could tell such a great story and promo off this shit and sell it, and people would eat it up. The Attitude Era fans, the Monday Night War fans, all these people getting involved and back into wrestling. I'll say it again. For the short time The Rock was involved in the John Cena storyline and Cody Rhodes and all that, The Rock made wrestling cool again. It was exciting. It was great. You didn't know what was going to happen. If he went full fucking throttle the way he was going and seemed to be on the trajectory of, we would be talking about what you're talking about, and I think it would be a phenomenal storyline and one for the ages because it draws full circle the Attitude Era to the new era and stuff like that. I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they're smart enough to do it. And I don't think The Rock's committed.
If The Rock could commit to it and be a part of it on a frequent basis, do you think that they would be interested in doing this?
If
they might.
he throttled down and he actually was featured heavily the way this storyline would need him to be, you can't do the Roman Reigns shit, what they're doing with CM Punk. You know, CM Punk's carrying the whole fucking load. You can't do that with Triple H versus The Rock in brand versus brand, whatever the fuck they're going to do storyline. You need them both heavily featured every week and him showing up. Otherwise, it don't work. The balls get cut off of it quickly.
He's got to be a piece of it and a big piece of it if they go down a route like this. Once again, I don't think he has to be there every week, but I think it's something that he should be there on a frequent basis, you know. And if he had that schedule ability, I mean, that's the problem I think always with him is that like you said, what's his schedule going to be like? I think I remember hearing him say a couple years ago when he was coming back to wrestling that he was planning on scaling back and acting after he reached down on commitments for a couple years. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure he had said that at one point, that he was going to be scaling back on it because he was very passionate about this. Whether that was just him bullshitting at that time for WrestleMania and the storyline, who knows, you know, but probably was. But I can also see, you know, if he wanted to be involved, I mean, he's the highest paid person there because he gets like a $35 million a year check from them anyways, just for his small part that he does on sitting on the board or whatever it might be. That's his, you know, thing that he gets from them. He's getting paid buku bucks and not having to do shit. Yep. Put him to work here. He could make this a legendary storyline.
And then, you know, the level of promos and directions and all this stuff, you can go, I was excited to see The Rock as a heel boss. I thought that he could be the Vince McMahon 2.0 where everybody hates him and stuff like that. And I thought that Cody Rhodes should have sold his soul. I thought they should have went that route with The Rock and formed a new corporation type figure. You know, that, man, they had so much money on the fucking table compared to what they're doing now with all these storylines. So much money was left on the table, and a big portion of that was The Rock being missing in action.
You know, if they did a storyline like this and had The Rock come back, there's other things they could sell on the other side on Triple H's team of guys they could get together to incorporate this stuff with The Rock that you're talking about, because Rock plays a lot of history with the people that I could see being involved in the storyline like this. Everybody's got some type of history with, whether it's Punk, whether it's Roman, whether it's whoever, Cody, you know, he's got a huge part in the storyline. Triple H, man, what if they aligned on the WWE side, you know, to kind of combat this? What if they aligned a CM Punk under a Triple H, or not under, but with Triple H on his team? Think about those two where they're combining forces after their history through the years, you know? Then you go and you throw somebody like you mentioned earlier with Seth Rollins, you know, put Punk and him, who are bitter enemies that hate each other, find a way that these guys have gotten their asses kicked by all these guys enough, and they put them to the curb, you know, they fuck them up, that these guys have to align together and work together. And they get that Nikita Koloff Sting moment from that WCW match when they give each other the big hug finally. And yeah, man, they might not like each other, but they've been to war together. They've hated each other. Yeah, they respect each other. And now they're fighting against these guys. That would be a cool fucking moment that they could do. Seth's got the history with Triple H then, you know. Then even if you bring the Usos in on the other side where they're aligning with their cousin again, as they've been setting up on the show, where they're kind of aligning with him and he's helping them. I mean, the storyline is right there. You could even go throw a Drew McIntyre in there to help fight against Cody as the heel. I told you Cody was a piece of shit for all these years and nobody listened to me. Here you go, whatever. There's so many pieces that they can put together with this. And I just see so many weird things that they're doing and nuances to it. And that's why I kind of brought this into my mind that they could do something like this, or maybe they are, because to me as a fan, it's foolish for them not to go down this route. The bloodline shit's over. It's done.
There's a ton of fucking money they have on the table here that they could do.
Yeah. I mean, they could bring this along for a few years if they wanted to, again, like they did with the bloodline, where they kept it going for a long time. They wouldn't have to just end it at War Games this year. They could get a banging War Games match out of it this year and continue on the storyline. You could pull so many swerves along the way here and so many different things that you could do. And you could do it for a couple, 2-3 years, I think, without it getting stale in continued ways. And then filter it out to your next big idea down the road.
I think that's the heat.
Yeah, take the heat that they're getting from ticket prices, take the heat that they're getting from the TKO stuff and the differences, take the heat from the creative where they're blaming it, saying, TKO is getting involved now. They were that was another thing they were doing. They were, coming out with this, that the only reason Pat came back is because TKO asked him to come back. He wasn't coming back for WWE. That's setting another piece up right there that I'm seeing. That's why I if they're doing this and it's not their intention, they just suck, because it's just sitting right in front of them if they don't want to link this together.
Right.
And they could have stuff that could go on for years that could make them just tons of money. And you can play off of TKO being the villains. And you know what? Then you're going to get more people that are going to probably fucking pay the ticket prices, because they're going to be pissed off at them and want to see them get their ass kicked, and take over.
There's there's something to that in the fact that Vince McMahon's name and his likeness and everything is getting brought up more and more and more and more. There's got to be something to that and why they're doing it. I mean, because Vince McMahon, let's be honest, when all this Janelle Grant stuff came out, WWE erased him completely. Any mention, anything. Now all of a sudden you're hearing the rumbles of the McMahon name be brought up again. Stephanie's showing up, all these different things. It's interesting to me. If there's any time that WWE could use a reality check, not to be pun intended there, but that it could use a reality check and be humbled in this situation and spark something that can be huge, it would be now. They have a path that they could go down where they can do something like that, but they're not smart enough to do it.
No. Vince is always this just crazy thing that you just see so much leaked about him now, and that comes out, and it's like the distance themselves from it, that they've done from him through the years. But it's been so weird that he's been, like you mentioned, slowly coming back out more and getting mentioned little by little. What would Joey say? The only way this could end is Triple H having sex with the corpse of TKO in front of Kane. Katie Vick 2.0.
Yep.
Didn't work the first time. I think it's going to work the second one on that, Joey.
Nope.
What's going on, Laza? Good to see you, buddy.
What's up, Laza?
New season of The Boys is out. I got to get caught up, Lazo, on the last 2 seasons, and then I'm going to finish it out. It's a great show. Enjoy it, my friend. I hope it's fun. I can see Cody Rhodes becoming a Homelander heel, thinks he's a babyface, but it's a selfish ego. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying, Lazo. It goes back to what I was talking about in the beginning of this. Cody's the one that should be taking and turning on Randy here. They set it all up and fucked him. That's the way they should do it with him. Pull him like a Homelander.
I think you have Triple H come down to the ring with a sledgehammer, and you think Triple H is handing it off to Randy, and he hands it to fucking Cody Rhodes.
And then boom.
Boom.
That would be cool too.
Because Randy was the chosen one for Triple H.
What if Triple H and The Rock align too under the TKO thing? Because he never got the power before, and Stephanie and Triple H and The Rock are all together on this other faction, kind of leading that ship. Who's going to fight for these other guys? That's when you need a Shane McMahon or a Vince McMahon to come back.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. Vince gets his finale then after that, where he finally gets his proper send off. I don't know. I know it's not going to happen, but to me, it's the things that I can see. That's why I said earlier when we were talking about Vince, I could see him, and I'm glad you mentioned it, because I could see him being a part of this if they did something like this. Yeah. If you didn't, you're foolish. You're
foolish.
And all the leaked emails you see of the communications about Triple H and Nick Khan that they were having behind Vince's back on stuff.
Triple H tried to downplay that so much on Cody Rhodes' podcast, and it was like, dude, just say you're Vince's bitch,
And he put the screws to Vince behind his back. And
he
you
did.
can see it in the messages that were linked from the depositions.
Yep.
Him and Nick Khan were putting the screws to Vince right behind his fucking back.
Yep.
And when you look at Vince McMahon, as we mentioned a million times on the show, Vince McMahon never lets anybody get the last laugh at him. And Vince
I don't think they're going to get the last laugh here either.
No. And Vince McMahon also is the ultimate carny of all time. He will do any fucking angle in the world, and he will do anything to make money or for the attention that he wants or whatever it might be. Vince will do anything he can to get that reaction. He loves it. He's all about it, whatever. Vince would come back and just go over as the big baby face at the end of this, and he would get his proper swan song if they had him leading the charge for that WWE team one time again. What if you had just imagine this with the shit that Punk was talking about with Vince on Raw the other night with the dog food and treating him like a dog. Imagine a Punk and a Vince aligning in this to fight against these guys. I mean, that would be just insane right there. Money's on the table right here, right?
That would be insane. But either way, you're kind of with Punk. It's kind of a weird thing because I think you use Punk as the Stone Cold-esque character in this whole situation. You know, even if he aligns with somebody, he still is enemies with them at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing to think about is remember what the cool thing about the NWO was when they were doing it back in the day. You never knew if somebody was going to turn and go with the NWO. They'd be telling you forever, and then they would turn, and then after they turned. You know, they're all spray paint them at the end, and then they come out, and then you hear the NWO, you know, and they would just play that. It'd be the one thing that would just signify they did the turn. There's guys that you could bring in like they're going to fight for WWE and then do the fucking turn on them, man. Go with the dark side. They could keep this up for a long time.
They really could.
Because the bloodline shit is over. Let's stop
this. It's ran its course. It was good. Yep. It was good.
It's done.
But it's done.
It's fucking done. Vince's next move, Trump steps down and has Vince replace him as president. Oh my God. Woo!
I don't think Trump's stepping down. I think he's getting thrown the fuck out.
Let's not have Vince as president, okay? No. Good shit, pal. You know?
Yeah, you would. Monica Lewinsky would be nothing compared to what would happen in that shit.
The Oval Office would be a desecrated place. There'd be random dildos with wrestlers' names around it rolling around the Oval.
There'd be fucking a shit stain dress instead of a fucking, you know.
Jesus. Oh, fuck.
Right off the rails, baby.
Yeah, that's the way you got to do it. When you looked at the shit that happened with Vince, that's all you can say.
Literally.
Yeah. Never in a million years would I have ever thought that I'd see that stuff that came out about Vince McMahon crapping on people. Come on, man. Did you ever think that?
Bag of sex toys that were named after wrestlers.
Seriously.
You think he had one called the Prototype? Just
That's why I like John Cena so much, you know? It'd be the oral office pal.
Yeah. Yep.
He's the genetic jackhammer in the White House, man.
Dude, the company writes itself.
Dude, imagine Vince as the president and the fucking promos that he'd be given on national TV. Some reporter cuts him off, on air and says something. Donald was funny enough when he did this one.
Yep.
That's light compared to what Vince would do, buddy boy.
Yep. Life sucks. And then you die.
Somebody take her out. Secret Service. Got him. Good shit, pal. Ah! God, it'd be something.
I've bought out my competition, Maduro. I've got your fucking oil.
I got your fucking balls in my jar. Yeah. Rand says Vince will buy his competition and he'll get this straight open by buying Iran afterwards.
It's all about the money.
It's all about the money. We can even tie Vince to the Middle East and the Saudis like we were mentioning earlier.
I'm all for Vince being president, man. It'd be comedy.
We can get the buying of Iran down here, Rand, because Vince is buddies with the Saudis, and the Saudis are getting fired on by the fucking Iranians right now. So Vince is the catalyst here, man, to come and get Iran with the help of the Saudis then. I told you. I got you, buddy. Ah!
Dude, that shit would be... I want Vince McMahon to be president before I die. That shit would be hilarious, just for the promos alone.
He's having fucking the Strait of Hormuz turned into a fucking brothel area, you know.
Instead of the UFC on the White House lawn, he's going to relaunch the XFL for the fifth fucking time. This is the XFL.
Fitz would say quiet piggy, then the pimp that reporter out to Brock Lesnar and Johnny Ace. Yeah, he's serving him his breakfast.
Jesus Christ.
Give yourself his breakfast to Johnny. God. What sick shit, bro.
What a fucking world we live in.
What a bunch of fucking
Hey,
nutsacks in this world.
The one name not mentioned in the Epstein files,
Vince McMahon. I cover all my bases, pal. I learned on that shit when they caught me giving money away to this bitch.
Yep.
Vince McMahon is a 1 in a million character, isn't he?
Oh, 1 in a billion.
That fucking body cam, dash cam, whatever it is, footage from when he got in a car accident. The cop is
Dude, can you imagine his body when he got that wreck? His fucking mustache that's painted on rubs off.
The fucking best. Vince is going like $120 in this fucking thing, fishtailing out, smacking into the rails and people, And then he's got the fucking airbag that explodes on him, and the cop just opens his up, and the fucking first thing
that ragdoll.
He's just getting fucking ragdolled in there.
There's just a powder imprint of his hair and just for men right across it. Fucking hell.
The best fucking part of it is like Vince when he gets out and the cop opens his door and he's getting out to see if he's okay, and he blames it on the car.
I know. A fast fucking car.
Fast fucking car we got here, pal. Yep. Well, how fast were you going? I don't know, pal, like 70? He's like, no, I got you going at like 100,
Yeah.
Oh, these cars are fast, pal. Ah! Jesus, Vince McMahon. I miss the walk all the time too, Joey. Just the best when Vince would come down and do that strut. No chance in hell. We always say it on the show. You're just such a great theme song for him.
Yep.
The Mr. McMahon character's got to be one of the greatest characters ever.
It's probably top 3 for me.
Yeah, me too. No doubt about it. It was me all along, Iran. It was me making the call to Trump.
Imagine Vince McMahon having the codes to our nukes and shit.
Vince, yeah, that's right there. The first thing that pops into my head is like when Trump is getting ready to fucking bomb Iran or something. He's getting ready to. He's gonna live stream the fucking thing when he's pulling the nuke fucking code in, man. And then here comes Vince McMahon. 9, 4, 3, 2. I got you, Iran.
Dude, he'd send a fucking drone to Ted Turner's house just to fucking get back at him.
You think I got you earlier, pal? Oh, I bought your shit out. You're not going to the nursing home now, you senile old bastard. You're gone.
He'd reenact the fucking purchase of WCW all over again.
Yeah. He gets Bret Hart back for the punch for all those years. Bombs Canada for that reason. You guys aren't safe over there, Rand. He's going to get fucking Bret. Canada. Yeah. He's getting Bret back for all those years, Rand. So you guys better run, man.
That's fucking hilarious.
I know we went off the rails, but
y'all wanted fantasy booking. We booked Vince as the fucking person.
You guys were talking about fantasy booking a couple weeks ago. That's a good fantasy booking one that we gave right here. Will any of what we predicted and talked about and the stuff being the seriousness stuff that we were talking about in a more serious note earlier, will it happen at WrestleMania or any of this? No fucking chance in hell, to quote Vince McMahon. I don't think it does, but it would sure be interesting if they did.
Yeah, it would.
It would sure be interesting if they did, So, but do we think it? No, I think as Vince said. Hold on, let me cue it properly. Do I see it happening? Nope, not happening, guys. Hold on, you gotta let it play out for a second. No chance. That's what you got.
Yep.
Could you imagine Vince coming back in this storyline and then nobody's leading the ship for them? They've all turned on him, and then here it's fucking no chance in hell, and Vince comes back.
It'll be the biggest pop. It'll probably be one of the biggest pops in the last fucking 10 years.
It would. I think it would be one of the biggest pops of all time if they did a storyline like this, and you had Vince come back to save him finally.
Even if Vince just makes an appearance to rip ass on TV. It's going to be one of the biggest pops of all time.
Think about it, bro. Like all these people that turned on him, Triple H, Stephanie, Nick Khan, all these guys, The Rock, whoever it might have been, that they aligned us with. They've all turned their back on this guy, including his own fucking kids. That's a storyline in itself, but it's the reality of the situation.
Yep.
And then nobody's here to protect him. And Vince comes back at 80 fucking years old with a Pancho Villa mustache, man, to no chance in hell. Yeah. The fucking place would erupt.
Dude, I want an AI version of that accident of Vince just like and you're just looking at the airbag and it's a perfect imprint of Just for Men.
Vince McMahon driving reminds me of the song The Dead Kennedys Buzz Pop. I wouldn't get in the car with him, Laza. No, that's the way he was doing it. He's on the East Coast of Canada. He's
got the song on. I don't like no whips and chains.
Oh, Jesus.
Stand back. There's a hurricane coming through.
Boom, 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 boom. 3 Count comes back with Tank Abbott for a little song off against him. Jesus. Vince comes back. He was at the first post-COVID in Houston. Vince got the pop of that. I believe it for sure. He comes back and reveals TKO was me behind it. It was me all along. And he gets that devilish face on.
Yeah.
Vince. Love it. Love it. Well, that was fun, guys. I know none of this is going to happen, but it was just a fun little fantasy book and topic we had for tonight for you guys. Richie, any closing thoughts before we head off for the evening?
Appreciate you all coming out for the show again, man. Excited for the future. Excited to live stream WrestleMania, the White House card, the Jake Paul fight. All these different things are coming, and it's going to be a good time. We do want to incorporate some of the interactive stuff like the booking and shit like that. We got to get Rewind back out here somehow. We're going to have to draw a line to him. Good things coming, guys. Stick with us. Appreciate all the support, and we're going to keep rolling with this thing, man. We'll see you down the road.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys next week. Same time, same place. Hope you guys have a great rest of the week. Hope everybody had a great Easter, too. So we didn't throw that out there earlier as well. Hopefully everybody had a great Easter with your families, your friends, whoever it might have been. But we really appreciate you guys all the time and your support and coming out and checking out the show, joining with us each week. We're small but mighty, and we have a blast with you guys all the time. Been a pleasure as always. Thanks, Laza. Pleasure to all you guys. Thanks for coming out tonight. But we will see you guys next week. We'll have some more great content for you. For Richie, I'm John. We are out of here. See you guys on the next episode.